Burger here, and today it's raining outside, which means I can't go roller skating, which is pretty much all I do every day at this point. However, it means that we have time to sit down and chat about my favourite subject in the whole wide world, and that's comic books. And I have a lot to get through. I've had a lot of time to read, and I've been reading a lot of different stuff all at once. Some would say I'm reading too many comics at once. I think I have maybe at least 20 single issues on my order, but that's okay because I'm having a good time. So today we're going to chat about some manga, some like ongoing comics, some all ages comics, a little bit of everything, but we're going to start off with talking about something I watched last night, and that's Bill and Ted. Last night I watched Bill and Ted Face the Music, and it was an absolute delight. Don't ask how I watched it. I'm in Australia. I just watched it, okay? Don't dibby-dob on me. Anyway, it was just wonderful to see them as older and have families and wives, and I like seeing all the musicians that were in it. They even had Louis Armstrong, which is so cool, and it was just great to see everything that they worked towards in those previous movies and in all the comics come to fruition, come around, and I cried, and it was magical, and it made me even more excited for this series that has just started. There's been a few Bill and Ted comics. There was one back in the 90s originally, which is in a big compendium out from Oni Comics. Then there was one a few years ago, which is great, set in the future, has lots of station in it, which is great. And then there's this one, it's Bill and Ted Are Doomed, and it's by Evan Dorkin and Roger Langridge. Both are indie comics people, and I didn't originally pick it up. Not that I don't like indie comics, it's my favourite thing ever. It's just that I never really got into Evan Dorkin's art, and it was only once the comic came out, the first issue, and I opened it, I realised he wasn't doing the art, because I didn't dig his art. He's not a bad artist, I just don't dig it. But the other dude, this Roger Langridge, was doing the art. He only does the covers. This is Evan Dorkin's art, so just for your information. I absolutely love the colouring in this, and they've really gotten the characters down pat. The writing is really clever and quirky, but it isn't really like pushing nostalgia on you, which I hate. Like that Karate Kid series that came out, and oh, I hate Stranger Things. I don't get that at all, but it's when they just cram nostalgia down you in TV shows and stuff. I hate it. But they're not doing it with this. They've just really got the characters down pat, and it's not set the same as the movie, but it has the same feel. You know, they haven't fulfilled the prophecy of making the song that unites the world, and they have a crappy band, and now they're going to go on tour, and by issue 2 they're in the tour bus. It's not a great tour bus, and they're going to go tour and just try and get their fans back. They only have like 3 left in the whole wide world, so it's really fun, and I'm just really in the mood for Bill and Ted. So if you really love the movie and you want more Bill and Ted, pick this one up. It's a really good time. This comic I picked up because the title was entrancing. The imagery is just so beautiful with that watercolor image, and it's called BL Metamorphosis. It's by Garratt Suratani, and it's a delight. From start to finish, it's a delight. For those of you that don't know, BL means boy love. It means manga that's about 2 boys falling in love. It's often sweet and romantic, and it has intense sex scenes, like really intense. It's pretty crazy sometimes. Very imaginative, a joy to read. However, this book is not about boy love. In a way it is, but it's about an older lady who's 75 years old and her partner's passed away. I've just realised that I love comics of that nature. I've read another one called Man and His Cat. Have you read that? It's also about an old man and his wife dies, and so he gets a cat and he pours all his love into this cat, and it's all about the shenanigans they get up to together and how much he loves his cat. It's delightful. This comic, 75-year-old lady, her local cafe shuts down where she wanders to every day because she's old, she can't walk a long way, and next to the cafe there's a bookstore, so she goes there instead, and she meets a young lady named Urara, and together they start sharing a love of boy love manga. She picks up a boy love manga by accident, right? She thinks, oh, this image on the front is beautiful, and the girls are kind of like, whoa, I don't know if that lady knows what that comic's about. It's going to be a bit intense for her, but the woman really enjoys the story and the relationship between the 2 boys and the characters that she met, and so she keeps going back to get the new volumes. And you know what, sometimes it happens at my work where you just see someone enjoy something so much, enjoy a comic, and you're just so excited for them to pick up the next volume and continue the story, and you kind of feel invested in the customer going on that journey, especially with Saga. Like whenever I see someone pick up the first volume of Saga, I think, you're gonna have such a good time. That comic's gonna change your life. It's so fantastic. Anyway, so that's what this manga is about. It's super duper sweet. There's 3 volumes currently out. I only have the first one. I've ordered the next 2, but I just don't know when they're gonna come. Thanks coronavirus. So I'm looking forward to reading the next ones, and it's just sweet. Even though it's called BL manga, it's kind of shows the spectrum of readers of manga, and that it's not just one type of person reading one type of book. It's really great. You should check it out. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'm reading too many X-Men books. I know that sounds crazy because that's not really a term you can say, too many X-Men books, but I think I am. I'm currently reading Wolverine, X-Men, X-Force, X-Factor, Giant Size X-Men, New Mutants, Marauders. Oh boy, yeah, no, when I say Wolverine, did I say Wolverine already? Anyway, I'm reading too many X-Men books, and now it's just added to it because there's an event at the moment that I wanted to chat about. Okay, so this is my Wolverine book. I'm really, really loving this series. It's by Benjamin Percy. Is that their name? Yes, Benjamin Percy. And it was all about Wolverine, and he's battling Dracula and vampires, and it's like kind of real goth, and the art was really cool. The art and the story up until this issue 6 kind of felt a little bit like Old Man Logan. He's in a bar, and he's like, drinking the alcohol, and then, vampires come. So it was a really good time, but then we got whisked away into the 22-part saga that is X of Swords. And my work was like, do you want all the parts? And I was like, heck yeah, I'll get 22 comics. 22 comics of X-Men because I need more. And the fact is I already read so many of them, it's only like 2 extra books. So anyway, the concept is, right, Araco, which is a place and a person, is battling Krakoa, which is where all of X-Men live, in an epic sword battle. Explain that to me. Why do X-Men need swords? It makes no sense. However, we're gonna find 10 champions of all the Krakoan mutants that are gonna get these magical swords and they're gonna fight Araco, and I don't know what the outcome is. If they don't do it, the whole of mutants is wrecked because they all live on the island of Krakoa now and everything's safe and wonderful, and this other thing's coming in. Why do they need swords? I just don't understand, and it just irritated me that they whisked away this really great story about vampires, and I love anything about vampires, to make him go to hell to find a sword. It was very strange. So I would love to hear from you. Are you reading all 22 parts of X of Swords? Are you enjoying it? Are you enjoying all the text in the X-Men comics? Because I'm going to be honest, when I first read Powers of X, House of X, I read all the text pages. No joke for you not reading. This is what the inside of X-Men comics looks like at the moment. You have to read all this text and get all this lore and information, and sometimes I just don't even look at it. And then I find that I'm missing bits in X comic. I just want panels. I don't want text. But that's my rant. I am glad I've committed to a 22-part X-Men book. It's my first time doing an event with X-Men. We all know I hate events, so it was inevitable that I was going to have a rant. But I don't know, it just feels cool to commit to something and have something to look forward to pretty much each week and really get invested in, because there's not much going on in Melbourne, Australia. We're still in stage 4 lockdown, and so I'm going to dream and think about X-Men all day, every day, even more than normal. Lastly, we're going to talk about an all-ages comic, which was so much fun. I read it so quickly and then realised I hadn't really looked at the art, so I had to go back and kind of flick through it and look at it again. It's called Donut the Destroyer. First of all, can we talk about this amazing cover? It's by Sarah Grayley and their partner Steph Purines. I think I pronounced that wrong, soz. And it's all about a villain, Donut, yes, a villain for once, and how they don't want to be a villain. And they're meant to be going to villain school. They've grown up on the villainous path, just like their parents, and all of a sudden they decide, you know what, I want to be a hero. And they've been really studying and working towards being a hero, and they want to go to hero school. And it's about that clash you have in your friendships when you're a teenager, that you like one thing all of a sudden and they like something else, and you kind of break off into different things, and it's very hard as a young person to kind of deal with the fact that perhaps you and your best friend are going to be best friends forever, and most of the time you're not, and that's okay. So that's what the comic's about. But it kind of has that shield of like good versus evil and really bright poppy art, and I mean, she's called Donut the Destroyer. Has really fun Sarah Grayley art, who I've loved for many years for our Super Adventure, and you probably know her as like, she did a bunch of Rick and Morty comics. She's just a delightful person and makes me so proud. Like, I followed them from here and now they're here, you know? It's great! So that's everything I've been reading in the past couple of weeks. I'm having a very good time testing out all kinds of new titles, checking out new single issues, and I want to know what you guys are reading in the comments down below. Hope you guys are well. I love you a lot, and I'll catch you guys again real soon. Bye!